games, games that reward us for intellectual and or emotional engagement rather than combat or any kind of violent accomplishments. We are here to do the Great Ace Attorney once again. Here is a link to my Discord. And let's get started. That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. Yeah, and I got a new voice for Rolly. I think perhaps we should make sure we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. And now it's my turn, I think. But according to my notes here, the sun had gone down already, and it was dark. Oh, but Rolly and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star. Sorry? The star that will guide us to eternal happiness. Can't it guide you to answer the question? And if a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. If I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said, 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smoke and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, you're trying to say that neither a book nor a knife crossed the sky before you. Yes, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. Certainly seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. Hold it! Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right? That's right, yes. If it had been on Rolly's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't be expected to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Rolly told me the way. Only, I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, please. So, I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Rolly was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed. I was off duty at the time, of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. Hold it! Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time. Never looked away for a second. Nowhere else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. I could swear to that on the odds on us, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me. This burnt copy of The Lion's Pride was originally in the Gerda household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time? Aha! Could it be a different copy, sir? Well, it just happened to be bugged as well. Even if that were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from this photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder. Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene. Is that so? There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The 2 mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. Can I ask you something? Please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, yes, of course. What is it? You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell. What? I wasn't really... I mean, what's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable. You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses, I don't want to hear it. My voice will be heard. My lord, you'll let me speak, wouldn't you? Won't you?
Yes, Miss Beat, I allow you to supplement your testimony if you so desire. Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. That was a very loud mutter.
I heard that. A Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Rolly won't.
Duly noted, Mrs. Beat. Please, I humbly ask you to continue.
What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder?
Hold it! Mrs. Beat, nobody is questioning what you've told us.
I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with the whiskers and the funny curved back slinking away from the scene. I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky.
All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction?
Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I'm always ending up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Rolly. He gets ever so cross.
Excuse me! Constable Beat, is there a problem? Yeah, no, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering that the same thing happened that evening, is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident? You see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine, but she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone a good 15.
Oh, Rowley, you're such a tease. The reason I was so long was because of the bouquet, silly.
The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about?
Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Rowley's so romantic. He saved up for it with farthings and halfpennies. With farthings and halfpennies that he found in the gutter while doing his rounds.
Yes, how romantic.
I'd forgotten all about it until just now. And you, my darling.
Yes. That was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise.
Really? Oh.
What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange.
I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insight, Mr. Naruto.
But I'm quite sure
that... I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about that bouquet.
Mrs. Beat, this bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please.
Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it! You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime?
Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back, I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Rolly gave me. It was in a dark spot where the street lights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it at first.
And then you went to the police box to report it to the policeman whose beat it was on.
Yes, and I came back to the scene together with the other constable, you see. That's when I spotted my bouquet again. And the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all.
In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased.
I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling me from the other side of the road.
Your husband, presumably?
That's right. Silly me, I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think how it got there, I really can't.
So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. Curious indeed.
Isn't it? But the worst of it is I forgot to pick up the bouquet again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose rolled about me. With that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting.
By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry, solitary rose?
Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter.
Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zeeks, when did you come by the flower? According to the report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found on the edge of the pavement in front of the Garadev household. In front of the Garadev's house? Although it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case, since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir, thank you. Could I have it back now, please?
No, I think for good measure, this rose should be added to the court record as evidence.
Oh. But it's a symbol of our love. I want it back after the trial, do you hear me? I want it back.
Good grief, rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Butte. I can take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing to report on that front, sir. Oops.
Oh, Mr. Nohada, what do you make of all this?
Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book that had no business being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garadev was hiding something from us. But it's becoming increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair. Very stylish paper the flower's wrapped in, isn't it?
It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruto.
Oh, I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me.
Ah, I see.
Is something wrong?
Oh, no. I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake.
Ah, Susada-san, you do love your cakes.
English rose. It's such a beautiful flower.
Ah, this is a rose, isn't it? This is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before.
Do you take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruto?
I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least.
Gosh, 3?
Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom.
Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some trees that aren't fruit tree based. Learning some that aren't fruit tree based, for example.
attacker. I'm thinking maybe she was just on the wrong side of the street.
Objection!
Nope, not quite right. Oops, dang it, not again. Ah, shoot.
Objection!
Nope. That wasn't it. Ah, shit. Oh, ah, dang it, not again.
Objection!
There we go. You claimed, Constable Beat, that there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be.
What do you mean to say?
In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policeman assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby. Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of that meager bouquet, if a single sorry bloom can be so described, no doubt it was blown in the wind across the street, back into the gutter where it belongs.
Meager?
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact?
No one else approached the scene, and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore that on Scotland Yard's honour. But the bouquet belonged to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why I really didn't mention it, I'm sure.
No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously the wrong way around. What are you talking about? Think about it. Besides Mrs. Beat's bouquet, there's Mr. Garredub's book. Mr. Garredub's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out of the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here, on the west side of the street. And yet, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in the victim's hand. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here, on the opposite side of the road, in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garredub's house. There's no logical explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them.
What are you trying to say? When you're talking, it sounds like you think my Rolly's done something wrong.
Joan's voice. Where's Joan?
Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says? Uttering all about books and bouquets, why should we care? It's nitpicking, it's what it is.
Oh good, Mrs. Garredub's come round. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garredub, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called,
tampering, Mr. Nahada.
But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there is someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime? It's gotta be Roldy.
Take that!
Obviously, there's only one person it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you. What? A policeman? Hey, Len! What's up? Well, I'm just streaming as usual. How are you tonight? Or, it's tonight for me, I'm not sure what it is for you. It's good to see you here. I know you've been busy lately, so I'm glad that whatever it is, it seems to be at least a little bit more manageable, so you could stop by. Because it's always great to have you here. But obviously, you know, life stuff comes first. But I'm glad, whatever it is, it seems to be a little manageable so that you could stop by. What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard?
What nonsense. Why would my Rolly do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London.
Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it.
You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it.
Oh. And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene.
Oh. Well, let's see. So, can I give you, do you want like a summary a little bit of what's been going on? Because I don't know if I could give you one. There's been a lot of shit. Hey Ace Attorney is great, though. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Crazy characters, even crazier court cases. It's all wacky and crazy, and just basically, if you took like if you took all the anime tropes and all the anime bullshit and then applied it to a courtroom, like all the like the Dragon Ball Z kind of like battles, like, and then just like transpose that to a courtroom. Just all that anime bullshit. It's a lot of fun.
Well,
Objection.
Thanks. I'm glad, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I'm glad you're okay with just First, you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well. But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with, but there is only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime: to hide something.
that's right, he's right. But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering, and until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair.
Mr. Harnoto, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against our London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irreparably damaged. With that stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering. Yes, my lord. Just gonna save. The crime was to hide. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs. What? What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we? On the pavement of Bridle Road. We saw it happen, remember? It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know.
That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all.
What? What?
I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel. If that's your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing that the crime actually took place that evening?
Take that!
But that's on the opposite side of the road.
I don't understand.
On the evening in question, Mr. Gyarados' book fell directly down from the open window above, and your bouquet, Mrs. B, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself. Good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. Oh, cool. That's a cool thing. These witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right. I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was the typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid... That was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help, and during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene. He moved all the things shown in this print, the victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing.
What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume. Exactly.
The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago about the discovery of the rose bouquet. Lord Van Zeek said it wasn't noticed until the morning, as it lay where the street lamps cast no light.
Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found in its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond, Constable Rolly Beat? Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again. I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important?
Oh, Rowley. If it isn't true, is it? What that lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know.
I had a dream. A terrible dream. All the things I did that night. Everything come out. Everything exposed. Oh, it seems it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly. Order! What on earth is the meaning of all this?
Oh, Rowley, why? Why would you do something like this? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it?
Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London Town. I can't say, sir.
What?
What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. Damaging the Yard's reputation for everything. I have a possible explanation for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can think of one reason. What? How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet, Lord Van Zeeks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matter thus far. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. England, Japan, it makes no difference where you come from. Human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions? Let's save again.
Take that!
I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why all this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that, though honorable, patrolling the beach is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens on his beach in all kinds of ways, There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special? How? On account of this bouquet, my lord.
Oh, yes. It was our very first wedding anniversary.
Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime on Longbriar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them, what must have gone through the man's mind? And sir, just on that particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot being married to a Bobby like me. I wanted to show my dear wife how much I care. This is the warrant card that Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that, or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat.
Oh.
Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? It was the first time since I became a copper. I never cursed God. Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As I ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why does this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of crime, so I told Pat she had to go to the nearest police box and vet whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you'll have to go to the police box that covers it. Turn right along Mersham Street, and then I've given Rolly like 3 different voices over the last 3 weeks. And I just couldn't quite land on one that felt right for him for some reason. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh, Constable.
I just wanted, just that one night, to take my Patricia out for dinner.
Oh, really?
Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene just outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street to the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. Got a Faye voice yet? I don't know. It is, you know, it's so hard to do voices for every single character. I think I really like the voice I gave Van Zeeks. It's so smug and superior, and it's a lot of fun sort of drawing it out like that. It's fun. And while it's really difficult, I like the challenge of figuring out voices for women. It's really hard for me, but the challenge is fun. But in terms of an actual voice, I really like the voice I gave Van Zieks. You see, I thought, well, I was sure a victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon.
Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Rolly would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement.
Ah, I see your meaning now. God got me back from my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat.
Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly.
And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total? 4 it was. Yes, sir. Definitely 4.
3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Gerda household, of course.
But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. You were sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh, yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only the 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However which way you looked at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who'd done it, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving her all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is it for me now. I've had it. My lord. Yes, Lord Van Zieks. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir.
Mr. Prosecutor, sir, what will become of my Rolly? What will happen to him?
For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course.
Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning at him for coming home late.
Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired.
All right then, my love.
One last thing, Constable. Sir, let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson in your mind. And never again make the mistake of tampering with the scene of a crime. Huh? Never again, sir. You mean to say? Leave now. This trial is not yet over. Sir. The other voice I like is, there's this character, Herlock Sholmes, who's just an absolute, just sort of chaos. Obviously, he's modeled after Sherlock Holmes, but he's a little less good at his job. And he sort of has a voice kind of like this. He talks very fast and kind of, you know, haphazardly, you know, and it's kind of a lot of fun to embody that kind of energy. Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Who ever thought of a third body transplanting the entire state of the crime like that? Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here. Principally, that the accused, Mr. Saseki Natsume, is the only person who could have committed this crime. No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back.
Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Dix, is this true? Very well. Name the person, if you will, and if further investigation is warranted. The prosecution has no objection to the trial continuing. You will name this other person who could have perpetrated this crime. The defense would once again like to request a cross-examination of a new witness, my lord. Once again? My assistant made the same request earlier. In order to finally reveal the truth about this case, it's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garridan.
Me? Me? Oh, daring me!
Objection!
That request has already been denied. But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garridan, answer me this.
What do you want now, you little toad? What do you want now, you little toad? What do you want now, you little toad?
At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. Garridan. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited, and to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road.
Oh, what of it?
You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top-hinged casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident.
Yes, and as I said, what of it?
During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garridan. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before?
I don't recall it.
Seriously?
Am I supposed to remember everything I picked up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there and all that regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he?
Conveniently, yes. No, I have no recollection of saying that at all. Juror number 4.
Oh.
Make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out.
But that's just a common old garden knife. It could have come from anywhere.
That's right. I just remembered the voice I gave her last time. I've been giving her a different voice, and I should give her the same voice. Now I remember it.
We have several like that at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know?
What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Garridan?
Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife if that's what you think. Come along now, chop chop. Do your worst.
Well, Mr. Naruto? If I had evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, Jira.
Oh.
The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Benzies.
I'm going to have to testify.
Juror number 4. As I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware.
Oh, dearie me.
So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Gardner, and mark my words, in this court of law today we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation.
Yes. My name is Joan Garadeb, and I'm, I'm a juror and such like.
Sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid, or what, anymore. The court has decided your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam?
Yes, my lord.
You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me.
Shut up, Joni.
I didn't know you were here, John.
Alright, what's the voice that I gave here? Wasn't totally you in that room that day, or ding wasn't? Well, I think I ought to testify as well, don't you?
But what hurt your knee, dear?
Ain't you worry about that? Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone.
Oh, John.
I presume you're Mr. John Garadeb? Yes, sir. Former Second Lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment of the 4th Northumberland Fusiliers, sir. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were. The quiet life? Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question? Ah, well, yes, quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out though and got the window open.
Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him.
Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I had notice if 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. Yeah, that boy thing in the victim's back really was one of ours. You'll have a job proving it, I think. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household this evening. Although an entirely one-sided assault, it seems. The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no choice but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Of course, veterans such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield you're just a gnat's whisker from death at any moment. Are we still talking about a marital quarrel here? Well, I must say that I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife. In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Menzies may well be right.
Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruto.
Yes, I'm afraid so. Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a... Oh, right, I did that already.
Hold it!
The reason is what you told us yesterday, I believe.
Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrett. A rather passionate note, in fact. When Mrs. Garrett found the note, discovering her husband's little secret, and she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too.
What a sordid state of affairs. Hell on earth. I say, when a chap says he can't recall such a thing as his common decency not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway.
A likely story.
These waters run very deep. And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face? Yeah, I mean, this is all just like, we're taking actual abuse extremely lightly in this case. It's not great. And we're also, and there was also this whole sexist thing about, it's a bit of a problematic case. I'm gonna be real with you.
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? Bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens that there was some bathwater around that evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious situation you put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. I have to draw water from public water pump during the day if you need any, you see.
The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although, that was the little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe.
The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies, you know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off.
Have you actually seen the state of the man?
I believe he uses all of his income to buy books.
Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire?
As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. That is most certainly not true of a suicidal takedown, Mr. Naruto.
How did she know I was thinking that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the things that you threw at your husband that day?
In all honesty, I don't recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see. Some bread, a cabbage, garlic, towel, and a sponge, a napkin.
Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garrideb. Don't shoot. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that the barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit with her. Ow! Good grief, women, we're not at home now. This is a court of law.
Oh, dearie me. Ever so sorry, dear. What's she even doing with a teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously.
Well, take a look at this, then. How do you suppose that happened, Your pipe, sir. This thing in my hand, as usual at the time of the onslaught, knocked it clean out with one of a soft projectile she did, yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see, your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now.
You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dear?
I wonder what we should make of this account. The defense believes Mr. Garrideb's remarks just now to be of great significance. This war veteran's words only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony. Indeed, common sense, one might say. Might one?
In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipes, sir?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Nardo. I was just feeling rather disappointed for you that your request list was turned down.
Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Sada-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully. Well, thank you all for that. Rebuttal, Mr. Garrideb. Now, if we can return to the crux of the matter, what can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim? It looks to be in a sorry state with that bandage around it, doesn't it? But for some reason it feels slightly ominous to me. Like it's trying to shout out a warning. Probably because it's the same blue as Mr. Garrideb's dressing gown.
I suppose it must have considerable sentimental value, Mr. Garrideb, given that he's gone to the trouble of repairing it like this.
Either that or he can't afford to replace it. Oh! Something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there.
Yes, I saw it. Something's stuck in there, I think.
Let's turn over and give it a shake.
But what's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something.
The tip of a blade? Surely it couldn't be. Maru? It's missing the tip.
Oh, look here, Mr. Nardo, just the tip. A small piece of the blade appears to be missing.
Wait, part of it's missing. I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. You remember this?
Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal that we found inside Mr. Garrideb's pipe.
Yes, and just maybe.
Oh my! It's a perfect fit!
Somehow I just knew it. Mr. Garrett, could I ask you to take a good look at this, please? You can ask, but I can't see a bully thing. You can't? You used to call me Dead-Eye Dead back in the regiment, of course. That was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days. I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q, to be honest.
Oh, he does. Dear me, it's rather wearing being asked about every other letter and every other word.
You must be very dizzy. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal? Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe. My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there. And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel? Are you suggesting that it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road? I am. What? When put together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord. You appear rather confident in that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then, present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you will see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with the inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victim's bones. And what of this particular knife? No doubt its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere near the spine of the victim.
Objection!
No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garrett's pipe. Good grief, is that Lord? Good grief, Lord Van Zeeks. I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh. Order! Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? Sir Van Zeeks has figured it out, has he? Counsel, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garrett's pipe?
Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony.
I had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles she did, yes. It never would have been sent flying unless it was hit by something pretty solid. Oh, dearie me. During the argument between these two that occurred just as the victim on Miss Garrett flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garrett, instead striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off, of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garrett's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1! And yet there's no other credible explanation for how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. Ah! In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garrett's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below.
Oh gosh! Oh dear! Oh no!
Objection!
full-bodied theory. I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points, plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it is just theory. The bottle, I fear, is corked. Because, you see, it's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable... what? Lord Van Dix, explain yourself. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. Of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with a knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her...
Ah! That's right, you silly little man.
Now, Journal thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife had struck her had fallen from above, there's no possible way it could have implanted itself into the victim's back. Ah! Order, order! Right. You see, that's exactly right. If that knife had fallen on her from above, it would have struck her on the top of her head. Well, look.
I never like this.
I don't know what really did happen. It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. We're so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency and the theory will stand. Mr. Sato!
You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all, and your mind went blank. But if the path you were on is indeed correct, then a way will present itself. The key to this is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there.
It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way that it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying? Counsel, there is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife fell from above, how the knife that fell from above could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer. Goodness! Utter madness. Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is gonna save. I have a thought. Hey Len, what do you think about the theory that she was bending over to pick up the book,
Take that!
This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence the defense will present. The Bird Book. Is that not Mr. Garrett's book? Yes, and to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. This photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all now know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that. Quite so, as part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road. That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable Beat made an extremely enlightening statement on that point. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. When we first ran over to the site, our victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure it was still in her hand. In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound. Well, I should say so. After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd be doing much of anything. So the question becomes, why did the victim have that book in her hand? By jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
How sorry me.
We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Garrett household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, at exactly that moment. The young woman was walking along the street in light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her.
The book that I threw?
Yes, Mrs. Garrett. And what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement?
Well, I really can't imagine it, but I suppose she might have reached down and picked the book up.
Yes, that is exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book.
Oh heavens!
And when the woman reached down to pick the fallen book up, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at the same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Seki Natsume. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark and the fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker. So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place. No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garreteb?
The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean.
Oh, Mrs. Garreteb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me. I threw that book, and I threw the knife as well. John, dear.
It's all right. I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly, I'm sorry.
Lord Van Zeeks? What news of Mrs. Gardner? She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events have left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern. Yes, unmenaced themselves they caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions. There is some good news, however, my lord. I've just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange. We've been talking about the victim all this time, but we've never once met her.
How wonderful. The woman is out of danger, it seems.
Yes, that is good news. So, Mr. Saseki Natsume? Okay, let's see. What was his voice?
They started shouting.
Yes! On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture, and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies. Oh, it is me who should be begging your pardon. Oh no, Mr. Natsume. That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead.
Yes. Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too.
I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now, but I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Soseki-san. His imagination really has got the better of him.
Yes, poor man.
So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police. Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires, and for that I am truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit had been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. But thanks to Lord Van Zeeks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken, and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of Edgerry. Yes, my lord. In concluding this trial, I must ask one last time for your decisions regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of this jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion.
I do declare that the truth can be extremely cruel at times.
Well, I didn't expect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for the old bean while she's taken out of action, you know. But I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. I say, I'll have a cook of a style to tell the grandchildren when I get home, wouldn't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman.
Not guilty.
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 Woohoo!
Very well. Mr. Saseki Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. finally, Mr. Natsume. Yes, Lord Sat. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture, and may you never again be brought before me. Yes, sir. Of course. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again. I'm transported to tears. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. Oh, locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course. Is there another locum here? Is there even one?
Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it?
What's wrong with using my actual name?
Oh, at last!
At last! I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilation! Heady, hearty, happiness, hurrah!
Oh, I am pleased. Mr. Natsume is delighted.
Would it be so hard just to say that, then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brick! Well, what happened to the poor woman who was in no way your fault after all? I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that. Lovely, loyal locum lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I've just never got used to life here in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. From high up windows, I see them looking down on me, laughing. Look at that little hunchback.
Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume.
But today, you, locum lawyer, gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the belly's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" Well, that's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful anecdote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. Ah, an anecdote. Is that what's become of all my hard work?
There you are.
There you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure to see you.
I say, I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say.
Oh.
The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best of luck. It's just finished. What? No!
Then my haste was in vain.
Ah! It's you! Lock Sholmes!
Oh, have we met? Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mrs. Natsume, the man you had arrested, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters had taken place in the Kowloon. Either of your bleak lodgings or that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. It is all your fault, Herr Lock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young lady and ran off, are you not? Ah. Had she been taken to hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but human, after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind. Now, then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir? Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Poor Sasaki-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And, it would seem, you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Natsume?
Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper. Ah, Lord Benzies. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're not found guilty, you're still doomed. It will be all right.
It will be all right, Miss Natsume.
Eh?
If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With a perfectly executed Susato takedown.
Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon.
Oh,
It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here, and the city it has shaped. I've come to realize it is my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it.
that's very touching, Mr. Natsume.
Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world and escape the terror of the Reaper's Curse. That's not it at all. The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Saseki-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Mr. Nahodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustachios compatriot? Why would we?
A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we finally have found our feet.
And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us.
I've calculated that we can only afford another 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted.
Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with a floor, ceiling, and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit.
Oh my, an evil spirit?
Oh yes, it tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. We'll think about it, if that's alright. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you consider taking lodgings with me?
Really?
Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. There is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just a storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of.
Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to taking lodgings in the great detective office's attic. I'm too overcome for words.
So suggesting we look elsewhere is out, then.
Then it's settled.
Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. Oh, alright. See you later. We're probably wrapping up as well, so it's all good. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume. I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you. And yes.
Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. It shouldn't take long.
Somebody's happy. Locum, I knew that you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruto? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have little doubt Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, Mr. Seki-san's innocence successfully established, he rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. 20th February, 4:41 p.m., the attic room. So this used to be our new office, yes. Our office? I really like the sound of that.
Me too. It's simply wonderful, isn't it?
I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step, but I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Mr. Sholmes. Yes, thank you so much.
It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it.
Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. Iris.
I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. Wait as soon as Mr. Matsumi arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. Alright then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid.
So, Mr. Naruto, how does it feel to have your own office in the capital? It's very exciting, actually. I can't help wondering what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these purposes. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry. London is a glorious place, full of wonder, opportunity, prosperity, and mirth, but the brightest of lights casts the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So, once again, Mr. Naruto. Welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Sholmes so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. Alright, we are going to stop there for today. We're going to stop there for today. Thank you as always to those who were and weren't here, and especially to those who were. Len, thank you so much, as well as anyone else who may have been lurking or anything like that. Let's see if there's anyone to raid. The Pack Walk is playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. I will send you guys over there. Have an amazing time. I hope you guys had a blast doing this with me tonight. I did. I certainly did. And I'm glad I got to do a longer stream than the last few times.